session is actually a very personal session. I like that it's small, so it's intimate. We'll get to learn from each other. So why is it difficult right now for you to attract top talents to your business?
Well, maybe because I don't have the money to pay.
So I hear money. So basically, when we talk about bringing in quality into our organization, the first thing that comes to our mind is, how do I pay this person? Because it's the natural belief. The natural belief is that we need money to pay top talent. Yeah. So I hear money. Not having enough money is one reason. Yeah.
And another thing is the competent person, the right person for the job. Not that the right person for the job is another thing, because if you know somebody who can do the job you want to do in your business effectively, where you can go out for that person might not just be, a talent have to take over time, as in you build talent. You are not just a talent instantly. If you take example, when you flash back, you see that people grow their talent over time. So once you know that you can be able to get that rightful person to do the job for you, it can help in your organization too.
Okay, so what I hear is people grow competence. Yeah, because talent is innate. Oftentimes people are born with natural talents, but then to maximize that talent, you need to work hard and develop yourself, and all of those things. But, okay, you're about to say something.
Okay. Speaking of talent in a business perspective, I would want to bring in leadership, especially for a startup, because you're bringing in someone who is going to help you build the business. You need leadership, and leaders are hard to find. So talents for startups are hard to find, like true talents to build the business with you. The person is going to be patient through the rough times and the rest, so you get to a good level in the business. They're quite hard to find.
So you're saying that for your own, you have a business?
Of course.
What has been the most difficult thing for you in terms of attracting top people to your business? What do you do?
I do real estate, residential real estate.
Okay.
You share probably your business plan and probably the vision of your business and probably your purpose and the rest of it. But they don't see where you're going. It seems they don't see the big picture. They don't see where you're going. You tell them, okay, you're into this industry, and I believe in 5 years' time, this is where we should be. And this top talent is saying, why should I leave where I am to come and start up a business with you, when I don't even know if you eventually get to that place?
So what I hear you say is that it's been difficult for you to get people to key into your vision.
Get the talents to key into my vision.
So it's been hard for you to get top talents to key into your vision.
Yes, you have to develop them yourself, probably just around, but getting the top talents to key into your vision is where the challenge is most times.
So basically that means you have the money to pay top talents.
It's just their sweat equity now. So that's why they are not compliant.
So money is a problem for you.
Money is a problem.
So you don't have the money to pay them.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you attract them initially before you then tell them about your vision?
Well, we are in a very global, let's say in a global village. You could always get them through the online platform, linking and stuff.
Okay, so they come in, you tell them about your vision, but you don't think they key into it.
Of course.
And so that's a challenge for you to attract top people into your organization.
Yes, sir.
Makes sense. So, okay, let him talk. No. Okay.
This conversation is really important, though I don't have a business.
Yeah, I think it's important too, that's why we're here.
For me, for someone to have an organization and want a top talent to work for you, the person at first instance should have at least a vision that is reachable. Because most times we come up with visions that is quite easy said, but not easy done. So if you should have a vision that is, when I stand here, I can see that vision come to pass. But if we don't have such visions, when we call top talent, they won't want to take part in such investment. I think, I meant that you as a person must have a good vision that is reachable, not just vision that is not reachable at the moment, but you have that plan. But the vision should be reachable, because anyone that is of a talent sees a vision that is reachable must surely go for it, because at that point in time, he as a top talent will want to be part of that vision right from scratch. So you want to bring up that vision, and it comes up the way it is today.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Chidubem.
Chidubem. So what I hear you say too is that for you to be a top talent, for you to attract the top talent, you must be clear about your mission, and that mission must be achievable. And so if it's not realistic, it'll be hard to attract people. We'll take this progressively. Okay? So first of all, we've sampled the knowledge in the room. And the knowledge in the room, this is the knowledge in the room. What is hindering you from discovering top talent? So one is funding. So we'll take this, we'll discuss it, we break it down. We test this hypothesis that money hinders you from developing attracting top talent. Is that true? So I'll share my experience from the non-profit space. So I work in the non-profit sector, which means that I own a non-profit organization. And the true test of leadership, like I always tell people, is working as a leader without leverage, where your position means nothing. So in the non-profit space, okay, for example, in my organization, I am CEO. The truth of the matter is, in a startup non-profit, your position means what? Nothing. You're CEO, that's fine. So, because largely our organizations are what? Volunteer-based organizations. So people have to volunteer their time. But even in volunteer-based organizations, you need to attract top talents. Okay? You need to do what? So maybe there are some of you here who are thinking about starting non-profit organizations, or you have a non-profit organization. Know that the fact that you are the founder of the organization does not mean that people automatically come work for you. So then how do you attract people to come into your organization? Now the first thing I'll tell you is that money is not a barrier to attracting top talent into a non-profit organization. Money is not what? A barrier. So I'm speaking in terms of non-profits now. Falasha is the businesswoman, so she will tell you about how to attract. But I'll tell you, for non-profit organization, money is not a barrier. So in my organization, we have professional psychiatrists, consultant psychiatrists working for our organization. We don't pay them. These are top talent. I'm talking about consultants who work with Yaba Psychiatry, for example, because my organization is a mental health organization. Okay? I saw your face when I said mental health. No? Okay. Don't run away from me. Anyway, so what has helped us attract that caliber of people into our organization, considering the fact that we don't have the money to pay? It's this thing you talked about, the mission or the vision of the organization. So as the founder or as an ED of your organization, what's the vision of the organization? What are you selling to people? Why should I come work for you? Is it attractive? Is it reasonable? Is it a good cause? So you must clearly define your mission or the vision of your organization, and you must make it attractive. But now, it's not just having the mission in your head or on paper. It's also about communicating that vision. How do you communicate it? Which leads me to a new area of interest for me these days, which is leadership communication. Because you might have a fantastic idea, but if you're not communicating it properly, nobody's going to join in. Nobody's going to come on board. So you must live what you're selling. You must believe in it. If I came to you now and told you that, I have an organization, I see we used to help more women. I'm just trying to help women feel better when they become pregnant, or when they have their baby. You nod your head and you say, yeah, okay, so what can happen? But if I came to you and said, see, I have this really grand idea, what I intend to do in my organization is to empower women, educate them, support them, screen them, go to hospitals, bring them in. You can already feel my enthusiasm, yeah? So the way you communicate your vision is what? Very important. it has to be clear, it has to be simple, it has to be attractive. So once you are building your business, ensure that your ideas are what? Clearly communicated, easy to understand, and attractive. And if you have a very good idea, people are more willing to work with you, especially in the non-profit space. So your mission has to be what? Attractive. It has to be novel. It has to be new. Okay? So even if you don't have money, people are more likely to listen to you and want to work with you because they feel like this is something exciting I should be part of. So is your idea exciting? Are we following? So it's not quite money. Because you might have money to pay people, but if your mission is not attractive, you might have them come in. But like Mr. Itayo said, how about retaining them? Will they stay? So the first thing is what? What's the first thing? Vision. Effectively. Fantastic. So the first thing is clarity of your vision and your mission, and being able to communicate it effectively in a way that is contagious. People want to join in. Another thing too is visibility. Many of us are doing businesses that nobody knows about. How visible is your organization? Why should I work for an organization that nobody knows? So that when I say, if he comes to tell you now that I work with the U.S. Embassy, would you say, well, what is U.S. Embassy? He'll be proud to say, I work with the U.S. Embassy, yeah? Why? So you might consider focusing a lot of your energy in improving the visibility of your organization and the image of your organization or your business. So I'm very deliberate with my organization's image outside. So I was in a meeting today, and I want to thank U.S. Embassy people. I was in a meeting today, and the woman said, I went to the U.S. Embassy to talk about my new movie and my idea on postnatal depression. And at the embassy they said, do you know Kachi? He runs an organization that supports women with postnatal depression. And that's how she heard about me. And I was like, hey, nice. We're becoming popular small. You know? So if I tell you tomorrow that please come work for PSN Africa, and you go online and you check PSN Africa and you don't see anything, and I don't have money to pay you still, so why should I come work for you? But if, for example, you want to volunteer with my organization and I'm not paying you, and you go online and you see beautiful images of people smiling, nice t-shirts, you'll be like, I need to be part of this, it looks exciting. So the image of your organization is important. People like to be associated with success and big brands. And so without selling people, if you sample the opinions of young graduates and you ask them where do they want to work for, or where do they want to work, you'll be hearing things like KPMG, GT Bank, Shell, Chevron. Why? Aside the big pay. So one thing I realized recently is a lot of young professionals want to work with KPMG. KPMG doesn't pay so well. But people want to work with KPMG. Why? It's KPMG. And plus they also develop people, which is another thing I'm going to go to. So once you have a young business, do not think that money is a hindrance to attracting them. A good image is important, a good vision, a good mission. Sometimes the goal is the leader. Abi, Shadi?
Sure.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we learned during the fellowship, is that the goal is the leader. So if you don't have a good goal, you would not get people to follow you. So it's not even you, it's your mission and your vision. So people say, some people have not met Kachi before, but they are volunteering for PSN Africa. They're volunteering for PSN Africa not because of Kachi, they're volunteering for PSN Africa because of what? The vision and the goal. So once that's settled, okay, what do you do with the people who come in? The people who come in are the people who will help you attract more talent. It's called snowballing. The snowballing principle means that once you are looking for top talent, all you need to find is one top talent. One top talent will help you find the next top talent. Are we following? These days, corporate organizations are beginning to pay their employees to help them search for talents. So to tell you things like, if you help us get somebody, yeah, we'll pay you 100,000 naira bonus. Like if you help us, so for example, a bank, XYZ bank will tell their staff, we're looking for a manager in Sokoto. If you help us get somebody that is good, I'll pass through the whole stages. If they pass through all our stage and they are really good, you get a bonus of 100,000 naira. Why? Because you know that top people recognize top people. Are we following? Mm-hmm. So when you have a top person in your organization, what do you do for that top person? You develop that top person, which is what she said. Would you please recap what you said about developing your person?
Yeah. In simple terms, I said what it takes, most times what it takes a leader to be a leader is the ability to identify that undiscovered talent within your scope or outside your scope and turn that person into a talent. And not just into a talent, but turn the unskilled person into a skilled person.
So you see that. So you have an organization that's new, a startup, and you get people in. What do you do with the people that you bring in? Do you just leave them there? You develop them. How do you develop them? Sometimes as startup organizations, we don't have the money to send our people to trainings abroad, to America, or to the UK. Or we don't have the money to send them to top trainers to train. But you can show genuine personal interest in these people, and maybe tell them to take an online course or something that are free, like Coursera, okay? Or tell them to take, go online and read more about a particular subject, or connect them to mentors, you know? Somebody that will help them develop. Just show personal interest in the individual's potential, and you show willingness to help them improve and become better. So that's what I see sometimes. That people will take a pay cut to go to an organization where they feel like they can grow. Again, I like to use KPMG. So I have a friend who made a 2-1. She had 4 jobs. Zenith Bank gave her a job. Sterling Bank gave her a job. Yeah? I think GT Bank gave her a job where her brother works, and then she got a job at KPMG. Okay? So the Sterling Bank job actually was paying more. I think it was 280,000 naira for starts. Yes, 280,000 naira. Okay? And she took a job at KPMG. Ask me how much? 85,000 naira. No, she entered as an intern. Yes. She entered as an intern. So they have this program now, which I think is a scam actually, where they just get people in to come and intern. And then from interning with them, they convert you to a full staff, where they pay you 170. So she entered at 85,000 naira. She turned down a job of what? Why do you think she turned down that job at Sterling Bank for 280?
Like she has where she wants to grow. She has a plan for growth, and that KPMG will take her there, you know, much more than the Sterling Bank. She might earn more money, but it might not develop her to where she wants.
Thank you very much. That's how top talents think. Top talents don't think in terms of short-term gain. They think long-term, career. They're thinking, okay, where do I see myself in 5 years? What do I want to be doing? What skills and competencies do I need to develop to take me there? And so you hear young people who are really bright-minded, and they'll tell you that, if you work in the bank now for 2-3 years, you'll probably be in the same position. You'll probably be a teller for the next 3 years and collecting 170. Or you probably be in customer service and you're collecting 170 for the next 3 years. But if I work in KPMG, because the path for growth is clear. So you enter KPMG now, you know, the path for growth is clear. If you spend 1 year, you're an EP, effective performer, you go. If you're a HEP, that's highly effective performer, you go. So it's clear. And then they spend a lot of resources developing their people. So people tell you that, if I spend 3 years at KPMG and I decide to leave and go to the bank, I'll be collecting like 700. So they know what they are doing. So KPMG is attracting top talent into the organization, not because of the money they pay, which is again why I tell you that money is not what attracts people to attract top talent. Money is good, it's an incentive. But top people would rather work for a place where they think they would grow, and then later on they know they will cash out, because money comes with excellence. You know that, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. Money comes with excellence. Money, once you are excellent, money just follows you. Are we learning?
Of course,
yeah. So as you begin to think about your business now, look at the things we already discussed. Let's recap. The first thing is having a mission and a vision that is clear, that is attractive. Yeah, so we see one learning, I like that. So communicating, not just having a vision that is clear and attractive, but as a leader you must communicate this vision clearly. So like I told you, leadership communication is something I became very interested in. I hope I'll do a PhD in leadership communication. It's so interesting because as a leader of an organization, it's okay to have all these grand ideas, you know, but if you're not communicating it properly, you don't make progress.
I have a question. Something just comes to my mind. In terms of communicating where you are going, I see some people, they're afraid to share these things with the staff because they feel maybe the person might not be too loyal, might go out and implement what I've actually seen. That, you know, I've read it over and over that you need to share a common understanding with the people you are leading of where you want to go. Or in a situation where you are keeping everything secret, they don't know where you're going, they don't know this, and then maybe you are also painting a picture that, oh, this business can collapse any time. So I've seen things like that I'm talking from my understanding. How do you, because many people are afraid to like share this thing, they are doing it, they are planning, but they don't want to communicate. In some instances, they don't want to tell people that, oh, if I tell them that we want to build a bigger place and all that, maybe they will feel that I have more money than, I have money, there's money, and then the main thing is they will be thinking that, oh, so you have money to build a bigger place, yet you are paying off this amount.
Right, great. So this is a very important question, which is, so many leaders are afraid to communicate their ideas because they don't want their staff to steal the idea. I think that's short-sighted. So I think that we'll get there. We'll talk about this when we talk about retaining talent. So if you're a leader, we'll get to you. So if you're a leader, for example, and you have an idea, people would not follow you if they're not clear about where you're going to, if they don't see the bigger picture. They might follow you for a while, but they would not follow through. Okay? But once we get to this point where we talk about retaining top talent, you would see why you should not be afraid about sharing your ideas if you do your job as a leader. Okay, we'll get to that. Let's not digress too much. So we'll take other questions and other thoughts as we continue to progress. But for now, we're looking at how to attract top talent. So we've talked about having clear missions, visions, having visibility, yeah, and the image of your organization, yeah. You have to be deliberate about what you put out there, the image of your organization. Okay? At the moment in my organization, we are saying, sorry, we don't want new people because people just see us and think that we're really massive, and everybody wants to join us. And that's because we're deliberate with what we put out there in terms of the image we portray of the organization. So as you think about your business, think about how to properly portray. And I think many of us are young, still having young businesses, but you can do this. Social media provides a level playing field now for everybody. So the same thing I can do is if I'm Total Nigeria and I have a business and I want to do a social media post, yeah? That same social media post that I do as Total Nigeria, you can do it. I can do it as Kachi Consulting. I can do my own social media posts. Everybody can do social media posts. So it provides a level playing field. So do not think that you cannot portray your organization in good light. You can. There are tools online that are free that you can use and create nice graphic designs to portray your organization. So what is more? Look at here again. Look at this place. Leadership. Nobody wants to work for a bad leader. So there's a principle in leadership that says that a leader who is 7 over 10 cannot attract an 8 into his organization. A leader who is 7 over 10 cannot attract an 8 into his organization. If an 8 comes into the organization, the 8 would leave. So top talents would not shrink themselves for you. They will do that for a while, but they become uncomfortable. And then they leave. And it happened. I was working for this guy, and he just became so insecure. You know? Have you worked for people before who they tell you, we're going for this meeting, or you need to come on, you need to bring out your A game. Like you need to be badass with this meeting. And then we go for the meeting, and then you're badass at the meeting, and he's looking at you like, you want to steal this client from me? And then he says nothing, and you go home, and he says, "Actually, well done for that presentation. But I noticed that you were trying to repeat outshine me. When I was talking, you were..." And I was like, "Oh, sorry about that. I was trying to manage his ego because, have you read The Laws of Power? So one of the first laws is never outshine the master. So I would not outshine him. I'll be trying. I was managing his ego. But I realized that you cannot continue to do that because you cannot continue to be mediocre. So for how long would you do that? So I did that for some time, and I left. You know? And that same thing happens in business. So I'm always very careful in my own organization. When I bring somebody in and I see this person is a top talent, I begin to develop myself to... Yeah, because you cannot afford to lose a talent because you are not competent. But what we see many young people do is that when they bring in a top talent who is very competent, they become insecure. So instead of accommodating the top talent, they force them out. Okay? So it should challenge you to grow. So leadership is imperative. Everything begins and ends with leadership. Now, until you understand that everything begins and ends with leadership, you would not make progress to your organization. You would not attract top talents to your organization. So you as a leader, are you developing yourself? Because we said top talents like a place where they would grow and develop, yeah? Would I feel like I would grow and develop under you? Yes.
I want to ask a question.
A question, please. We'll note these questions and we'll refer to them.
My question, you cannot be good at everything.
Yeah.
Maybe as a CEO or whatever, and you need somebody. Maybe in marketing, you are not good in marketing, so you need somebody to just play a role in that aspect. So if that person is making the organization grow, is he going to affect you in one way or the other, or just that the scenario you painted?
Okay, so I'll address that quick. So being a top leader does not mean having expertise in all areas. Okay? That's not what it means. So if you have a top talent who is really good in marketing, I'm not saying that you should go and start taking marketing courses. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that even that marketer should be able to know that he can grow under you. That he can provide guidance. What a leader does is to provide guidance and to show the way towards achieving a goal. Yeah? So leadership, in simple terms, is the ability to mobilize people to do difficult work. The ability to pull people towards achieving a specific goal. Leadership requires influence. Can you influence that person, regardless of how big they grow? Are you capable of influencing them? If you cannot influence them, you're not leading them. Are we following?
Okay, thank you very much. Kachi has successfully talked about the non-profits, which I'm also a major player in that field, in that sector. But I'll be talking to us now on more business-like. As he has rightly said, in no sector, fund or money whatsoever is not a big deal and it's not an hindrance. So also in business. Now, I have a year business that worth over 10 million naira, and I have never spent 50,000 of my personal cash on that business, and we valued over 10 million naira. So how do we do it? We reposition ourselves, we brand ourselves. See, the word branding in starting up a business is very, very important. And once we talk about branding, it starts from the name. It starts from the name to the vision, to the mission, to the goals, to the objective. Now I was at a gathering with the CEO, the owner of Zaron, and we compared Zaron and Tara, House of Tara. There was one product that Tara had launched sometimes 2 years ago that they called Oreke. Now, if you are aware of that product, do you still hear of that product the way you hear of Zaron? The product, the owner, which is Tara herself, she has to kill that product herself. Wow. Yeah, I will tell you why she has to do that. You know, I said when you are branding, it starts from the name. Now you are talking of Orekelewa. How many people can pronounce that name effectively within Nigeria if you are not a Yoruba person? And you are now competing with in a global market. Now look at Zaron. Even if there is nowhere you bring someone from, as long as the person is educated, even if the person will still be able to pronounce Zaron, unlike pronouncing Orikelewa. Do you get where I'm driving at? So your branding starts well from the name of your business. So if you are able to get a very appropriate name, a concise name, a name that will be universal, a name that can go global, that's the first thing you start with, not having money. Do we get that? So she has to kill that product and come up and shoot up House of Tara, and all our products now are Tara. Everybody can pronounce Tara very well. Now, then we go to the vision, mission, and objective. These three things must be achievable, measurable. In about 2 or 3 years after this business, you should be able to sit down and measure the achievement of your organization. And before you could be able to measure any business, you must have a certain indicators to which you'll be able to measure your achievement, your output, your impact. What are the indicators? It can be like, okay, how many sales have we been able to make within so period? How many products were produced within so period? These are indicators that you can easily measure. So if you are able to measure your input and match it to your output and see the outcome, then you are on your track to do something good. Now the vision, the mission, and the objective, they must be clear, they must be attainable, and they must be measurable. Look at your SMART. Now, so money is never an hindrance to any business, and I've made myself an example of that. Because when you know what you want to do, when you know your onions, when you know how to cut it without shedding much tears from your eyes, and you know how to attract people, will naturally will be attracted to you. And when you put all of this into play, less effort, you will make less effort in having to go after people, but rather they will come after you. This morning around between 9:30 to 11, I was in a business meeting with some people. I had an opportunity to pitch a business in Access Bank 2 weeks ago, and after the pitch, I received nothing less than 6 different calls from investors that wants to come and invest. Now the headache and the burden I'm having now is who to choose as an investor. These are people I already have the ready-made money. This is the money we have, and we are ready to invest in this business. Now, the process of filtering and making a decision and everything, that's where I am. So the money of starting a business without capital is never an issue. Once you know what you want to do and you know how you want to do it.
Yes, I just want, are you summarizing it with just, okay, a business plan for, you understand me, that is, you have to do your business plan very well before.
No, I'm not talking about business plan now. I'm talking about starting up as a startup. You start with branding, and I said your branding starts with your name.
I know, that means it has to boil down to your business plan. You know, business plan takes virtually everything, even those you want to hire. Your name, everything, the business, what I mean.
Of course, a business model, yes, right? Yes, you should have a business model that you work on. Every business, everything you want to do must have a model. And that was why I said you must know what you want to do and how you want to do it.
Last year, I wrote a letter to the Speaker of the House, Lagos House Assembly. So I was called. I went there with my friends. So in the House of Assembly, I've set about 45 different directors to hear what I have to say about it. Because I said that I have an idea that Lagos will be making 5 billion naira every year. So they sent a letter to me that I should come and communicate that very vision to them. So when I reached there, so they asked me a lot of questions. This thing is what I've been incubating in mind for a long time. So the bottom line is that I need money to execute those things, and I did not have 1 naira in my pocket. And I restricted some of these ideas because those that are there are people that if you just show them a little of those things, they will go and do it. So, and that thing is still in my mind, and everything they said I should come and write a business plan on how this thing will be actualized, that they are interested of that very thing. I did not have money. What can I do?
Thank you very much. Your question will take me to my next point. There is always a process of starting. There is always a beginning. Ocean was never built in a day. Do you understand? No matter how much you need, it can always be broken down into pieces. Go to the basis of your business. There is always a starting point. The money you are looking at, you can still go break it down to pieces of how you can start personally with yourself. When I started my business, my period kit, I started with 5,000 naira, and I was able to assemble 10 kits, 10 period kits. That was how I started. 5,000 naira was just my feeding money in my final year in school, a month's feeding money, and that was what I used to start. That was then. So there is always a starting point of every business, and the thing is, if you are not doing anything in your business or in your idea or whatever, nobody will invest in it. You have to start something. So if you have this idea now, you have the money, and you are holding it down because you don't have the money, you are killing that idea, or you are indirectly selling it off. And let me tell you one bitter truth. There is no idea that is exclusive you. As you are thinking about it, thousands of people are also thinking about that same idea outside. So if you are holding on to it because of money, indirectly you are giving other people's chances. Go back to your idea. Look at ways you can start at your own level. And when you've started at your own level, you can now begin to talk to people about it. Okay, this is what I'm doing at my own level, but this thing can be scaled to this level. Is that scaling that I need your help for? Now, you're going to those people now, telling them, if by the time you stand in front of them, okay, I've been able to do this on my own, I've been able to achieve this with this little resources, but I need this thing to scale up. They will not steal that idea from you. They will rather be looking for a way of collaborating with you because they know you're already making an impact, you're already doing something on your own part, and they will not want to, like, if they steal it, whoever that is taking rightly will know that one way, their government or whatsoever. But the thing is that they will not steal the idea from you because you are already a grandmaster of your plan and of your business. Rather, they will look for ways of collaborating with you, of partnering with you, of helping you to build your businesses. But if you are going with them with a raw idea, my brother, even if you discuss it with me and you've not done anything, I might think about it. Okay, let me see how it can go. But if you are doing something about it, this is in business world, that's what I'm telling you. If you are doing something already, no matter how little it is, they want to look for effort to say, okay, what's my share? How can we do this? It's always about share when you are doing something already. Once you are not doing anything, they will applaud you and they will go back and say how they will steal it from you.
Yeah. You know, just to corroborate what has been said, I was invited some time ago to do what we called consultancy, but basically they wanted to know how to do something. And I wrote a proposal, very clear-cut proposal. And the Director General of the agency called me and said, "Young man, I understood you wanted to collect 60,000 naira. That was a lot of money then.
Yes.
When my salary was 4,000 naira. So, and the long and short, the man said something that was shocking. He said, "Can you do it at this rate?" I said, "No, sir, because there's a lot of things involved." He said, "Do you know that I can take this and give it to another person to do?" I said, "I understand that one, sir. But if you want to go ahead, you can still go ahead. Because it's not everything that I actually wrote in that paper. I wrote, gave them a good picture, but the nitty-gritty, I removed some of those." Now, the point I'm saying is just to corroborate what you said. He actually said he had an idea. Abi?
Yes.
He's not saying he has a business, he has whatever. And that's why there were so many there to tap into that idea. And I think many of us are making this big mistake of carrying ideas around. As we are seated here, everybody has ideas, isn't it?
Yes.
There's, how many books do you have in your brain you want to write? Several books. But until you begin to do something about it, I'm telling you this, that's the point I want us to get. People are ready to pick that from you and make it their own. And that's easy for them. My wife always says this. When you have this idea, there are people with plenty money. They are looking for worthwhile ideas. Once they know that this is going to work, before you know it, they'll finish your... So please, let's begin something. And usually for every thriving idea, there's always this other something unique that you, who is the owner, you actually have. And that's something that should be proprietary even to us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Are we benefiting from this session? A lot, yeah? Right. So we don't want to digress too much with the questions. We'll have a Q&A session. Okay, so that she doesn't lose her thoughts. Okay, but more importantly, so that we stay in line with the focus of today's session, which is attracting talent and then retaining talent. Does anybody have a fair idea of how to attract talent now, from all she said, both in business and both in the non-profit space? Can anybody give us a quick recap of all the things we've shared so far?
A fresh voice.
Yeah. Your name, please.
Thank you. My name is Samuel.
Samuel.
Yeah. What you said so far, how to attract talent. First thing, have a clarity of your vision and the mission about the business you want to start up, and the ability to communicate that vision to any talent you want to attract into the business. And I believe the third thing you mentioned is the visibility or the image of the company. Like you rightly said, that if they visit your website, we'll be able to see some nice pictures that will attract them to be part of that vision. I think those are the things you've mentioned so far.
So we said something about developing the people you have in-house and those people being able to help you attract other people. Did anybody pick that? Yeah, so snowballing. So you get one talent. What you do with that talent will determine whether or not it will help you attract other talents. So if I work for a very good place, I go and tell my friends, man, you see the salary may not be so much here, but that working environment is fantastic. You know? The salary may not be so much here, but this guy is a very good boss, a very good manager. He helps you develop yourself. I've gotten better at this, X, Y, Z. And that next talent is going to want to work for you because he feels like he can grow with you. So you must be willing to grow the people who work for you. And growing the people who work for you will help you attract talent. So we're moving now quickly to how to retain talent. So it's okay that you've attracted people to your organization. How do you keep them? So again, I'll be bringing my perspective from the non-profit space, where leadership is not authority, and where position means nothing. So you cannot say that, and when we don't have exciting pay packages. So if you talk about the corporate world as we know it, the business, you know that one of the things that can keep your talent is a very fat paycheck and then incentives. Because some people even, your incentive alone is what will keep you at the job, not the take home. You know, so you have health benefits, you have like health insurance, or you have like housing allowances, or you have, or the medical insurance covers your family, or yes, they're paying your child's school fees or something, you know, all those, yeah, or fringe benefits. Those things keep employees. But in non-profit space, we cannot offer that. Yeah? So how do you keep them? I think the first thing we learned in Kansas when we arrived in Kansas is that leadership is relationship.
Yes.
And that was my biggest take home from the entire 6 weeks program. Leadership is what?
Relationship.
Being able to build relationship with the people you work with is one of the most significant things you'll be able to do to keep them. So we say we define leadership as what? Ability to influence people, or like Ed would say, the ability to make people do difficult work. That's leadership. Everybody doesn't want to do the difficult work, so the ability to influence them to do it and achieve that goal is leadership. And so we say that it requires relationship. And because if you don't have relationship with these people, you cannot influence them. Okay? And so you need to develop relationship. But how does that help you keep them? So we break down relationship. What is required to build relationships? Who can tell us what is required to build relationships? Communication, yeah? That's one.
Clarity of the image and clarity of the
Integrity, trust, humility, contact with who?
Like as we are meeting here now, and build a relationship.
Oh, that's fine. So as a leader, you must be accessible. Yeah? People who work with you must have access to you. What else?
Networking.
Attitude, patience, honesty,
Caring.
empathy. I like empathy so much. Recently I was invited to do a training program for Microsoft, and basically it was how do you scale up your business using empathy. It was a fantastic training. I like talking about empathy a lot and emotional intelligence. So you cannot build relationship without empathy. In fact, not possible. But I've been hearing trust. So we'll take down. Shadi, please let's. So Shadi's writing is actually better than my writing. If I write on that board, you guys will not see anything. So let's take trust. The first thing is that we need relationship to keep our people in the non-profit space. Yeah? And a huge part of building that relationship, one, is trust. Two is empathy. What else? What else did we say? Integrity. Communication. So we'll take each of these things one after the other. Networking. Somebody said caring. Not quite.
Access, the openness. Maybe
Accessibility to
or transparency.
Transparency. That comes under trust and integrity. And then we'll see how all of these things would help you keep your people. First, I'll talk about the importance of trust. So I saw a book, and on the book they wrote, "We trust that you would pay for this book." So I went and I read about the book, and the book was about trust. And the book was sold by putting it in bookshelves, and people can walk in and pick the book and pay later. Yeah, and on the book it said, "We trust that you would pay." It was sold everywhere in the world, but it was sold in America firstly. It won't work here, yeah? So I was listening to somebody's experience about the book. So the book talked about trust so much, and why it's important that a leader be able to, leader be able to inspire the confidence of his followers and his employees to be able to trust him. If not, your business collapses. If they don't trust you, they don't work for you. If they don't work for you, things just collapse. And he was reading the book, and at the end, when he finished the book, he not only paid the cost of the book, he paid more. So they provide an account where you pay for the book, and he paid more for the book because he had learned a lot about the importance of trust. And because the people who wrote the book was just psychology. You know, they knew that once you learn so much about trust, if you took time to read the book at all, you would not want to not pay for the book.
Those that will not pay are those that didn't read the book.
Yeah, those that do not pay are those that did not read the book. Once you read the book, they were so confident about the content of the book and its ability to change your life that you would not have any reason not to pay for the book. One, because you would not be willing to break the trust that he had for you. Are we following? Yes. So as a leader, if somebody comes in contact with you, do you trust in your mind that they will trust you just by contact with you and by engaging you? And in your mind you say to yourself that I trust that you would follow me, that I trust that you'll be loyal to me, and then you see it play out. But you will not see it play out if you know in yourself that you're not a trustworthy person. So what does trust mean? You see, this integrity thing, it's very, very important. Once you lose integrity as a leader in the non-profit space, you lose everything. So if your followers don't trust you, if you're not a man of integrity, if they don't think that you would keep your word, or you're a person who is double-faced, one, you would not have their support. If you have their support, it will be temporary. Two, for example, non-profit organizations depend greatly on donors and grantors. So, for example, if you're not a trustworthy person, or if you've misused funds before, and I'll tell you this is very, very prevalent in the non-profit space. I remember when recently we got our first grant. You know, non-profit space is a very interesting space. So recently we got our first grant at PSN Africa. It was 5 million naira from Access Bank, Act Foundation, Access Bank's foundation. And when I got that 5 million naira in, my guys were like, so if you talk about the corporate world as we know it, the business, you know that one of the things that can keep your talent is a very fat paycheck and then incentives. Because some people, even your incentive alone is what will keep you at the job, not to take home. You know, so you have health benefits, you have like health insurance, or you have like housing allowances, or you have, or the medical insurance covers your family, or yes, they are paying your child's school fees or something, you know, all those or fringe benefits. Those things keep employees. But in non-profit space, we cannot offer that. Yeah? So how do you keep them? I think the first thing we learned in Kansas when we arrived in Kansas is that leadership is relationship. And that was my biggest take home from the entire 6 weeks program. Leadership is what?
Relationship.
So, how does this relate to retaining talent? And being able to build relationship with the people you work with is one of the most significant things you'll be able to do to keep them. So we say we define leadership as what? Ability to influence people. Or like Ed would say, the ability to make people do difficult work. That's leadership. Everybody doesn't want to do the difficult work. So the ability to influence them to do it and achieve that goal is leadership. And so we say that it requires relationship. And because if you don't have relationship with these people, you cannot influence them. Okay? And so you need to develop relationship. But how does that help you keep them? So we break down relationship. What is required to build relationships? Who can tell us what is required to build relationships?
Communication, clarity.
Communication, yeah? That's one.
Clarity of the image and clarity of the communication.
Integrity, trust,
Contact.
humility,
Contacts.
contact with who?
Like as we are meeting here now, can build a relationship.
Oh, that's fine. So as a leader, you must be accessible. Yeah? People who work with you must have access to you. What else?
Networking.
Attitude,
Networking together.
patience, honesty,
Empathy.
empathy. I like empathy so much. Recently, I was invited to do a training program for Microsoft, and basically, it was how do you scale up your business using empathy. It was fantastic training. I like talking about empathy a lot, and emotional intelligence. So, you cannot build relationships without empathy. In fact, not possible. But I've been hearing trust. So, we'll take down. Shadi, please, let's get this. So Shadi's writing is actually better than my writing. If I write on that board, you guys won't see anything. So let's take trust. The first thing is that we need relationship to keep our people in the non-profit space. Yeah? And a huge part of building that relationship, one, is trust. So it's empathy. What else? What else do we say? Integrity. Communication. So we'll take each of these things one after the other. Networking. Caring. Somebody said caring. Not quite.
Access and openness.
Accessibility to transparency. That comes under trust and integrity. And then we'll see how all of these things will help you keep your people. First, I'll talk about the importance of trust. So I saw a book, and on the book they wrote, "We trust that you would pay for this book." So I went and I read about the book, and the book was about trust. And the book was sold by putting it in bookshelves, and people can walk in and pick the book and pay later. Yeah, and on the book it said, "We trust that you will pay." It was sold everywhere in the world, but it was sold in America first.
You won't work here.
It won't work here, yeah? So I was listening to somebody's experience about the book. So I was listening to somebody's experience about the book. So the book talked about trust so much. And why it's important that a leader be able to, leader be able to inspire the confidence of his followers and his employees to be able to trust him. If not, your business collapses. If they don't trust you, they don't work for you. If they don't work for you, things just collapse. And he was reading the book, and at the end, when he finished the book, he not only paid the cost of the book, he paid more. So they provide an account where you pay for the book. And he paid more for the book because he had learned a lot about the importance of trust. And because the people who wrote the book was just psychology. You know, they knew that once you learn so much about trust, if you took time to read the book at all, you would not want to not pay for the book.
Those that will not pay and those that didn't read the book.
Yeah, those that did not pay and those that did not read the book. Once you read the book, they were so confident about the content of the book and its ability to change your life that you would not have any reason not to pay for the book. Well, because you would not be willing to break the trust that he had for you. Are we following?
Yes.
So as a leader, if somebody comes in contact with you, do you trust in your mind that they will trust you just by contact with you and by engaging you? And in your mind you say to yourself that I trust that you will follow me, that I trust that you'll be loyal to me, and then you see it play out. But you will not see it play out if you know in yourself that you're not a trustworthy person. So what does trust mean? You see, this integrity thing, it's very, very important. Once you lose integrity as a leader in the non-profit space, you lose everything. So if your followers don't trust you, if you're not the man of integrity, if they don't think that you would keep your word, or you're a person who is double-faced, one, you would not have their support. If you have their support, it will be temporary. Two, for example, non-profit organizations depend greatly on donors and grantors. So, for example, if you're not a trustworthy person, if you've misused funds before, and our authorities is very, very prevalent in the non-profit space. I remember when recently we got our first grant. You know, non-profit space is a very interesting space. So recently we got our first grant at PSN Africa. It was 5 million naira from Access Bank, Act Foundation, Access Bank's foundation. And when I got that 5 million naira in, my guys were like, Kachi, make we buy car. You know, they're like, guy, first money, we've been doing this for 2 years, we've been using our money for it. 5 million naira comes in. I was on the fellowship when the money even dropped. You know? So they called me, my guys called me, the money has dropped, Access Bank has dropped the money. I was happy, I was really happy during that period. It was the 4th week of the fellowship. And I just saw a message from my guys who were in front of the organization with me, say, guy, man, no more Uber, no more taxi. Just come out to M for the money, buy car. Straight. I was like, eh. What does that do for us? If I take that money now and buy car, what does that do for us as an organization? We lose what? We lose more than that 5 million.
Yeah.
Even if I take 1 million and I buy a pencil like car, we lose more than 5 million. How do we lose more than 5 million? No, of course not. Car was not one of the things we put in the grants. Nobody's going to fund you to buy a personal car. What do you think? Why do you think it's important that I do not take 2 million out of the 5 million, even if the grantor does not know? Because the grantor might not know that I took 2 million out of that 5 million.
Because it was not meant for your car.
We have trust issues from the public.
The public might not know.
But the money is not meant for that purpose.
Conscience, you have conscience.
The thing is that sometimes the same people that make you to break trust are also going to distrust you. 2 things.
Fantastic.
One day, one of the artisans working with us was with us. I was with my husband. Somebody was calling him, and he was telling the person he was somewhere else. So after dropping his call, my husband was like, "You will tell me this. This is how you will lie to me another time." And he was like, "No, I won't do it." My husband was like, "Oh, really?" I remember when I was in service. I retired from the Federal Civil Service. There was a time I was a new civil servant, and I was told to go somewhere. And then later the director said I shouldn't go, and that was before we had mobile phones. But like the money for the travel was already given to me, and I had not gone. Now he was cancelling it, but he hadn't sent me. He told people to tell me, and the same people he told to inform me, some of them were my seniors in the service. were telling me to say that I have gone because I was to go to Kaduna, somewhere in the north. And I was like, no, please can you tell me how to return money to the church? Even up to the person that gave me the money, nobody wanted to tell me how to return the money. I actually had to go to several places. And I was like, are you stupid? Nobody returns money to government. And that was it. And do you know that? So I eventually got somebody who told me. I returned the money and collected a receipt. Because I was so sure that government will not be that generous that every money that comes out, there must have been a policy. There must be a way they will have put a process they would have put down. And then what I'm talking about is around 1992. Okay? But sometime later, somebody wanted to do something. And one of my my immediate boss, the same person that was saying, let's share the money, Joe, that same person was telling somebody else, better don't ask Nika to do that, she won't do it. And that was years after. So if I had done it, that same person would have said, we are the same people, Joe, and all that. So that is it. This same staff would have lost trust in you, and then they will bring it back to you. Didn't you, So
thank you very much. So basically, even if the grantor does not know that I took out 2 million naira from the grant that was meant for a project to fund my personal life, even if the public does not know, my people would know. The volunteers would know. Because it's not rocket science now, Baba. We're here together now, Baba. Abi? 5 million enter. Next thing, take her. Is it not even magic? Even if I can whine them and say, man, the U.S. Embassy guys give us like 2 million when we're in America, they would know. And once you break that trust, once you lose that integrity, it's hard. It's really hard to get it back. And so they begin to become even more paranoid. What if it's really 7 million that came in? I'm not sure that Kachi's telling us the truth. What if he has hid some? Because he has done it already. He has done it before. He has got the money before. Before you know what's happening, they begin to lose motivation. Before you know what's happening, they begin to tell other people that, you don't know what that guy do. That one person that they tell will tell 15 people. 15 people will tell another 15 people. Before you know what's happening, your grantors will know about it. Before you know what's happening, you will not get another grant ever. And grantors know grantors. And because when people know that a grantor has given you money before, they want to even contact them as reference. So they say, okay, you've given this organization money, how did they do? So they need the reference from the people, And the people say, that guy, not try that guy. You can 5 million naira like this. You just tear another car. Alright, so it's important. Trust is really important. Because you never know who's watching. Okay? What else is important? We said empathy is important. What is empathy?
Put yourself in the shoe of somebody.
To care about their cause.
When you put yourself in the shoe of that person that is maybe passing through something.
So somebody says, he's saying that empathy is you putting yourself in the shoes of the next person. To be able to feel what the other person is feeling. That's very important, is it not? Now, when we go through things, we like to talk to people who empathize, not people who sympathize. People who say, that must have been difficult. I cannot even imagine what you must have gone through. Now imagine you have a leader or a boss who knows how to empathize with you. Wouldn't you want to work with the person? Huh? Of course you would want to work with the person. But if you have a boss that does not know how to empathize, how would you feel working with the person? Now empathy is not doing unto others what they want them to do. This is it. Empathy is oftentimes confused with the golden rule, which says that do unto others what you would want them to do to you. That's not empathy. That's not what? Why is that not empathy? Doing unto others what you want them to do to you. We say it's not empathy. I say, why is it not empathy?
Because when you empathize with somebody, what you are doing to the person might not be able to repay. Nobody might be able to repay you. But empathy really, it goes beyond you just saying, oh, sorry. It's not, you are not doing to that person because that person has done anything to you. You are not repaying or hoping to be repaid. But the thing is that you are putting yourself in that person's shoes, and then you are thinking of, you are going even beyond sympathy, because you are thinking of how do I help this person to get out of this horrible or unpleasant. How much can I help? It might not be much, but the person will see that, oh, this person is feeling, you know.
Empathy is doing unto others what they want you to do to them. There's a difference between doing unto others what you want them to do to you. We're saying that here, you do unto others what they want you to do to them. Does that make any sense to you? Now, if I'm broke, what I would want you to do to me, yeah, is to give me 10,000 naira or 5,000 naira, so that I would not be broke. If you are broke, you might not want me to give you 10,000 naira. You might want me to tell me how to make 10,000 naira. So if you tell me you are broke now, and I say, oh, if I was broke, if I was in her shoes, I would have wanted somebody to give me 10,000, and I give you 10,000 naira, it may not be what you want. Are we following? As a leader, you must be able to empathize. And empathy basically means that you putting yourself in their shoes and saying, what would they want? Not what would I want if I was in their shoes? And you only do that by knowing how to communicate effectively. If there's a line of communication, if they can tell you how they feel. Not you assuming. We assume a lot. That, oh, Lagbaja is feeling like this, so, because if I was in Lagbaja's shoes, I'll be able to do. No, that's not what it means. It goes beyond that. It's understanding what Lagbaja wants and doing to Lagbaja what Lagbaja wants. Are we following?
Does it mean that you have to ask Lagbaja what he wants?
Of course.
Yeah.
So a leader must communicate effectively. A leader must be able to say, how are you feeling? I know I'm not in a position to help, but what if I was in a position to help? What would you have liked me to do? Does that make any sense?
Yes, it does.
We don't assume with leaders. We don't assume. Assumption kills. Yes.
That opportunity of finding out what they want for you to attend to them as they want it.
People will abuse it, yeah? So again, I said that in non-profit leadership, position means nothing. You cannot leverage it. Okay? That relationship is everything. So sometimes, how do they abuse it? So it's not like you're going to offer them money. Most times they want time, they want you to listen, they want you to be available. Are you able to do that as a leader? Okay? So this is how I break down leadership. So if you say leadership is influence, and influence requires relationship. Yeah? So that means leadership is relationship. However, if leadership is relationship requires empathy. That means leadership is what?
Empathy.
Now, if leadership is empathy, you cannot empathize without communicating effectively. That means leadership is what?
Communication.
Now, if you're communicating, yeah, you need to be emotionally intelligent in the way you communicate with people. That means leadership is what? Emotional, not intelligence.
Emotional.
Are we saying it? Are we learning?
Yes, sir.
Now, so we see this is important to keeping your talent. If they trust you, they'll work for you, they'll stay with you, they'll be loyal. If you're empathetic, it helps you build a relationship with them. If they have a good relationship with you, Even if somebody offers them a bigger paycheck, sometimes they'll be like, oh, well, that relationship I have with my boss, it's important. Even if they leave your organization because it's a non-profit, they would want to look for how to help you contribute to its growth when they leave. So for example, we lost many of our people recently to KPMG. You know? And so we celebrated the fact that our people have entered KPMG. And when we were celebrating their entrance into KPMG, we did not know how they would contribute to us at that time. But because we had a great relationship with them, and I had a great relationship with them, even when they were at KPMG, they started to use the knowledge that they have at KPMG to grow us. So things about how our books should be, or the fact that it's imperative that we audit our accounts, or how our accounts should be audited, or how it's important that we keep receipts, or how our mid reports should look like. So this grant that we did right now, the mid reports that we submitted to the grantors was prepared by, and it was mad. The report was really nice. The person who prepared the report is a KPMG staff, no longer works for us, but is using the knowledge they have acquired there to help us because of the relationship they have with us. And that relationship happens because you are empathetic, they trust you, that you've grown a relationship with them. And so even if they're somewhere else, in non-profit, they always have that tie to see how they can grow you. But if you did not have a good relationship with them, would they think about you?
No.
So you are retaining a person who has even left your organization. That's some different level of retainership. You know? They still remain loyal to you even when they are not there. Yes?
I just want you to throw more light on that non-profit, because I'm into non-profit. And this communication issue has greatly affected me because I have been trying my best to reach out to people, but I see if I'm reaching to the wrong people. Take for example, I came here, I asked someone who is the head of this place, so he was able to tell me a lot of things, and I did it, and that thing is working. So I keep on asking people, even though I have worked in 2 non-profit before, but they lack all these things. They run it like a one-man business. They were not able to train people, and a little knowledge I got there, because I worked for them for 4 years. So I was able to put into my own, and it's working. And I need more explanation on how you can communicate your vision and mission to other people.
Okay, so that's the thing about facilitating that I like. As means it was a paid facilitation, yeah. We'll organize another one. I'll say in the next master class we'll be talking about how to, then you come and pay. So this is not the context for this, but hopefully we'll have a different session where we'll talk about non-profit civic engagement, and maybe it's something that we could look at, you know, because a lot of people in the civic leadership space or the non-profit space, or young non-profit executives who are looking to grow their non-profits and have no clue. So we'll probably do some other training.
We'll do it.
Yes, so but for now we'll look at why we're here, retaining talents, getting talents and retaining talents. And we say one of the things that we need is trust, empathy. We talked about accessibility, which is contact. Now in the non-profit space, because your position means nothing, you cannot sit in the office and lock up yourself and say, I am CEO. Nobody's going to work for you. You must roll your sleeve and be in the field with your people. Even in the business space, you would rather work for a leader who is actively involved, who is also willing to get his hand dirty, who is accessible, who you can easily walk into his office and have a conversation with. If you notice in the business space these days, you don't have people saying sir, ma. Do you have people saying sir, ma? Or Mr. You don't even have people saying Mr. Do we have, what's the culture here? First name, yeah? Why do you think organizations adopt the first name principle?
It's
a good relationship.
So it breaks down walls. same thing in non-profit space. So all my guys, they call me Kachi. Not even Onyedi Kachi. Just Kachi. Make yourself very accessible. Because again, position means nothing in non-profit leadership. Your title means nothing. Your relationship with your people is everything. And you cannot build relationship with people if you're not accessible. So are they able to call you and talk about their personal matters? Do you show personal interest in these guys? Are you able to have conversations with them about their own personal life or their own businesses and the ideas that they have? Can they talk to you? Would you be there for them? The guy that heads logistics for us recently called me and said, Kachi Baba Alpha, so my brother is getting married. I beg, I want you to come. I look through my schedule and I say, hey, very tight, but I will be there. Why? Because if they see that you are there for them, they'll be there for you. So I'll tell you how our programs run. We run our programs at hospitals, at antenatal clinics. These antenatal clinics start at 7 a.m. And so we run programs 7 to 9 a.m. Recently we did 2 programs that I did not just know how we would pull off, because we're doing these programs 7 to 9 a.m. Monday morning at Ikorodu. People who volunteer with my organization work regular jobs. And Monday morning is what? How would you take time off Monday morning? And then the traffic and everything, and then the distance. Ikorodu is not child's play. And so when we did that program, we discussed. And so another thing that we talk about is that we learned at the Kansas Leadership Center, speaking to people's loss. As a leader, you must learn how to speak to people's loss. People are not resistant to change. People are not afraid of doing hard work. You know, oftentimes we say that individual people are typically resistant to change. People are not resistant to change. People are resistant to the loss that comes with change. People are not refusing to do hard work. People are afraid of the loss that comes with doing that hard work. So when I think about putting this program 7 to 9 a.m. in the morning, people want to come. But people are afraid of, if I come now, the things that will... So as a leader, you must learn how to speak to that loss. Speaking to that loss is saying, guys, this program is 7 to 9 a.m. I don't even know how you guys want to do it. I cannot even imagine leaving my house and getting to Ikorodu before 7 a.m. I cannot even imagine what your guy will even say at work when you have to get back to the office. This thing might put you in trouble. This thing is, you speak to the loss. They know that you fully understand the loss that they have to bear by being there for you. My brother, if you speak to their losses, they will turn up for you. Because they want to know that you are fully aware of the consequences of the things they have to give up. So if you as the leader know what they have to lose, they feel like you are appreciated. And so that Ikorodu program had our highest turnout of volunteers. At 7 a.m. we had volunteers in Ikorodu coming from VI, coming from Yaba, who had regular jobs. On a Monday morning, they were in Ikorodu 7 a.m. for the program. In fact, our grantor said they will come to Ikorodu to come and look at how we do it. They could not turn up because Ikorodu is far. But because me and the other guys who are in the management spoke to their losses, made them realize that we understand the difficulty that will be involved in them coming, they turned up. So those kind of guys who are able to do that for you, isn't that their brother's wedding you will not go for? You have to go for their brother's wedding. You have to buy the ashwebi. This relationship. That's the only currency in non-profit leadership. That's what helps you keep people. If they realize that you're not accessible, you cannot be there for them, they would not put in their time for you. And so you hear things like, Kachi, if now you said you could do it for me now why? Are you saying that? It's like, if I tell you to come, you said go come. Because they know that you are there for them. Like your friend broke their heart, or how their husband is not treating them right, you are there for them. You are accessible. And then we talked about integrity. So if there's anything that we pick out from this session right now, non-profit retaining people is what? Leadership is what? Relationship. Retaining your people is what? Relationship. So if you are not very good with relationship now, start thinking about relationship. How do I build relationship? Am I building relationship? Okay? Are we clear?
Yeah, thank you very much. We have just 5 minutes to round up the section. So when we talk about retaining talent in a business setting, in business sector, we have to look at, I'll pick it up from relationship, because relationship revolves around everything that we do. And relationship is an activity. Without an activity, there cannot be relationship. So what are the activities that we need to do to foster the relationship that exists in our offices, in our business? First, let's look at trust. It's also valid. It's a valid activity. Trust goes beyond keeping money safe. The fact that, okay, I could wake up in the morning and I know that, I trust that my employer will be at work by this time, and I get there and I meet them. That is a trust. The fact that I could leave my office for a business meeting and still come back without any chaos, that is a trust. So trust is not money based. It goes beyond money to behavior, to the way we keep people, the way we relate with people. So you must be able to trust your employee. An employee will not work in a sector, in an organization where or she cannot be trusted. If you become to be suspective of your employee, every time you feel like, oh, so person is out to steal your money, is out to steal this, is out to do that, is out to do this, the person will become so insecure. You don't have to be vindictive as a leader in your office. Try as much as possible to create an environment, a conducive environment where your employee or your talent will feel secured, will feel home, will feel relaxed. If you look at Zaron again, I never knew who Zaron was. I only used to know the general manager. The general manager runs Zaron like Zaron is a personal business. She's the first person you even see, the frontier you see in Zaron before you even get to know who the CEO is, who the owner of Zaron is. That is how we should be able to build our businesses. Your employer should see the business as theirs, not as someone else. The moment you are able to achieve that, then you know for sure that your talent can be retained as long as you want them to be. Because one thing is, retaining talent does not have to do with money always. It has to do with the environment, the ability to develop their capacity, the ability to grow. There must be an avenue for growth. Growth is very important. Like, I will give you a personal example. I started in non-profit and I'm still in non-profit. I'm a social entrepreneur. Now, when I finished my NYC, I got a job with a bank. And at the same time, I got a volunteer opportunity with an NGO at the community level, at grassroots, a community-based organization, CBO, as a volunteer, but on a project that is being funded by USAID. Now, what do I want to do? I now look at, okay, Folashade, what do you want to be in future? Where do you want to be? That will make me to make an informed decision of going for that volunteer and leaving a job that will be paying me 120,000 in a month as a fresh graduate back in 2013. I went for a volunteer position that will be giving me transport fare and logistics, everything, 35,000 in a month. I worked there, I was there, but I had the opportunity to do my master's degree. I did my master's degree in University of Ilorin. While on it, an opportunity came up. My boss himself told me to apply for this. Folashade, this is apply for that. Now, as an employer, you must have developed your capacity to the point that you are not scared of losing anyone in your organization. How do you do that? Don't ever give a person, an individual, the sense of indispensable, that without this single person, this business will collapse. No matter how talented, no matter how good a person is, never give that person that sense. How do you do that? You make sure that you don't revolve your organization around an individual. Build the system. Am I making sense? I'm trying to rush up things because of that. You don't develop an individual. You don't build your organization around an individual. You build the organization. You build a system. You build the organization around the system, so that even if one person leaves, the moment the person leaves, the vacuum will not be felt. There is always someone that will step up. And how do you ensure that? That you in your organization, someone is telling you, oh, in a year I don't want to go on leave. What's that for? Everybody must go on leave, no matter how good or how whatever it is. Everybody must go on leave, because someone going on leave in your venue, in your organization, is an opportunity for another person to learn what he or she is doing in that capacity. So the moment the person knows, oh, there are people waiting to step in and all of that, they will compose themselves, they will stay in their group, and they will pursue the mission and the vision of the organization. All in all, integrity, accessibility. Make yourself accessible. Work with your employees as if you are working as a team. You know, when you work in a team, you can only have a team leader, but it doesn't mean the person is above all of you. It's just to make sure that the person provides a direction for you. So make your office a teamwork, a team building, and build yourself as a team. When a boss will work, oh, there are some executive in an organization that they don't even know the names of their employers. Call me the accountant. Oh, call me that lady. Then no. Call everybody by their first name. Where I worked now, if Edie walks into the office, just like, hey, BC, how are you? Funle, good morning. Hey, Funka is family. You said your baby was sick yesterday. That's how to be leader. Go to the level of knowing what is going on within your employees. Get personal with them when necessary. There was something I read that I will leave us with this. Now, they said, one thing is you cannot please everybody because of human nature. And it's very important to know that if you want to be a leader, have it at the back of your mind that you cannot please anybody. And if you want to please anybody, someone said you sell ice cream. But I will go beyond that to say even an ice cream seller cannot please everybody. Because of diabetes, patient will not be pleased with that. So let's have it at the back of our mind as a leader. We cannot please anybody, everybody, but we must do our bit to make sure that within our scope, we do whatever is possible to retain our talent and build our organization. Thank you.
If you're clapping, make sure you clap very well. I want two people to rise up, to tell us, to give them the feedback of what you have learned today. How useful, how impactful has been this session to you? Yes, anybody? Okay, I've seen two hands at the back.
Thank you very much. The course today has been very impactful because it starts from the basics of learning about what to do to be a leader. First of all, talk about the name that you want to have to run as a leader, which is branding, to have a name, and then to have a clear objective of what you want to do. What do you wish to do? What business do you want to run? And how are you going to run it? And then you must communicate that business to people. And then visibility of what you are doing. People should have a way to know that the other company exists.
Let's give the second person a chance so that you don't.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for, you know what, I came here with a different, thought, but I appreciate your input that just gathered now, because I just received my letter of emergency from the CAC about my company, but I sent it again and he rejected it. But for what you said about branding the name, just a lot. So the name I not sent, I will be sending now, I believe will be very, very catchy. Once again, I also clarity of purpose about the business. I think I learned a lot about that because I've negated the importance of the relationship in business. But for what you said too, I think this is what I will really work on to make sure that I keep the people around me, together so that I can put the business through. And lastly, I learned that integrity is key in making sure that your business survive. And I appreciate all this, and I believe I'm going to put them to work when I get back.
Thank you very much.